And welcome back to Football Friday. We have the Alliance National Bank highlights. JB's here, the Buckeye.
Been anxiously awaiting to come up here. Not many more times we're going to be here all together. After the season's over, maybe we can camp out in your basement and do this on off season. Do you think your wives will mind or with that? Or
I don't
Mine
know.
won't. It'd be tough to get in my basement.
Okay, well.
We'll have a reunion or something.
Right.
Maybe New Year's Day.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what game did you go to tonight?
I actually did double duty. I went over to Ridgeland, saw the
Big game for the
Yep.
Panthers.
Oh yeah. Saw the Bowmans in action on senior night, and then from there I went over to LFO and saw that game. So
Awesome.
got a nice look, and we're not done yet. We still
Absolutely.
have one more week after this one.
All right,
so.
take it away.
All right, well, let's start off with our Alliance National Bank Highlights show. We begin with Dalton, who is all the way down at Hillgrove tonight. Now, what's made Dalton so successful and in this situation is the fact that they've had 49 consecutive winning seasons. And, of course, if they were to continue their season tonight, they'd have to handle the Hillgrove wishbone offense, which is sometimes difficult to prepare for. Was Dalton prepared for that tonight? Let's head out to Hillgrove right now and find out for ourselves. And to start things off for Dalton, they came out early, but so did Hillgrove. This 25-yard field goal by Brennan Clark would make it a 3-0 Hillgrove lead. And then it was Zach Wells for Hillgrove. He takes it inside in the end zone from 3 yards out for the touchdown. 10-0 rather. And then it was Cincian Days. This to Kyle Hood. He is brushed just short of the end zone at the 2-yard line. They wouldn't score, but here's Dalton. There's a Striker Brown to Carter Crutchfield in the end zone, 4-6. And Dalton's on the board. It's a 10-7 game. And then it's more Sinja Days. This is a long run that's going to be going all the way. He could go all the way, but he does, and he is stopped just short. And then it's Days again. He finishes off where he left off, makes it a 17-7 game. And Dalton, they lose a heartbreaker. They lose 43-29. Well, for the next game, it was Calhoun at Pepperell. And Pepperell and Calhoun, both predictions early on in 7AA North and 7AA South, both, predicted to be near the top. Both teams have clinched playoff spots in the state tournament. This game was to determine the number 1 seed heading in. Now, Pepperell is the number 2 ranked team in the state. This according to GAsports.com. Now, they're undefeated on the season, and their closest game was 28-7 that they won. Well, could Calhoun put a damper on that? Let's head out to Pepperell right now and see for ourselves. Team captains out for the coin toss. First drive for Pepperell. They catch the Jackets off guard. Logan Osborne sneaks up the middle for a 54-yard touchdown run. 7-0 Dragons. But Calhoun is about to answer until Dustin Christian fumbles it on the 1-yard line. Big mistake. Pepperell jumps on it. It's first down and 10 for the Dragons. But you couldn't have a quicker shift in momentum when Michael Johnson hits Derek Rogers, and that's a 14-yard touchdown pass. Barely gets in. 7-7 is the score. And what do Yellow Jackets do? They swarm and score in bunches. Still second quarter. Johnson finds Derek Ramsey. 59-yard touchdown pass. And just like that, it's 14-7 Calhoun. First play on the next Pepperell drive. Jackets strike again. Cody Rayston picks it off. He wants 6 points. Bam, bam, bam. 21-7 Calhoun. Calhoun, 6 AAA region champs. They go on to win 28-7. Well, for the next game, it was Carrollton at Ridgeland. Now, Ridgeland's biggest knock this far is that they haven't beaten any of their region rivals yet. Now, a win would give them their first outright regional championship in school history. How did the Bowmans do on senior night? Well, let's head out to Ridgeland right now for that game, and it was senior night. Marcus Friedman, Carlin Bowman, Mike Bowman, everyone being honored before the game, rightfully so. They were fired up from the get-go, and let's pick it up in the first quarter. It was Carrollton striking first. Luis Hudson from midfield takes it, and he goes 45 yards down the sidelines before he's brushed out of bounds at about a 13-yard line, and that would set up Ricky Strickland from 28 yards out. That's a good field goal, 3-0 Carrollton. Some Ridgeland defense now. Luis Hudson, he's eaten up by a flurry of Panthers. And then what Ridgeland highlight would be complete without the BBC Bowman to Bowman connection. 68 yards all the way to the hizzy. 28-13 Ridgeland. and they go on to win this game in convincing fashion. Congratulations to Coach Mariakis and the rest of that team. Cartersville at Ringgold, that was the next game, rather, and interesting state playoff berths at stake for both teams. Now, a win would be the second playoff game in school history for Ringgold. So how did Coach Atkins and his guys do? Well, let's head out to Ringgold right now and see for ourselves. In this game, Ringgold cheerleaders were ready, but it was the football team. Third quarter, 23-0 Cartersville until Martez Eastland shows his mighty strength, and that's a 23-7 Cartersville game. But Cartersville was way too strong. Morgan Alexander takes this one in, 30-7 Cartersville, and Ringgold is out of the playoffs due to a Scooby play. Cartersville, they go on to win this game 30-7. Cedartown at LFO was the next game, and Cedartown heads north to finish the season at LFO. Now, it was predicted to be a pretty good matchup. Now, Carrollton, they defeated Cedartown last week, 21-7. LFO's Cody Commons, he's only 5'8", but his spread attack on offense and his great use of his arms and legs are why they're where they are right now. How did LFO and Cedartown fare? Well, let's head out to LFO right now and see for ourselves. The kids were ready. They were dancing. 7-7 game in the first quarter. Cedartown's Jamar Wadley, he takes it 28 yards in LFO territory before he's knocked out of bounds. First down and 10, and that would set up this. Shan Borders, 15-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Brown, 14-7 Cedartown. And here comes LFO. Dylan Jackson completes to Greg Burns. This is out at the 2-yard line. He's brushed just shy of the end zone. It wouldn't matter because on the next play it was Greg Burns. He burns his way in for a touchdown, makes it a 14-14 game. 34-19 Cedartown, they are winners in that game. Now for the next game, it was Douglas County at Heritage, and Heritage head coach Tim James in the first year with this inaugural program, still looking for that first win. We've talked to him throughout the season. He's definitely seen some improvements in his team throughout the years, or throughout the season. Could his team finish the way they'd probably hoped to and get a win, their first win ever? Well, only one way to find out. Let's head out to Heritage right now for that game at Douglas County, or against Douglas. Cheerleaders ready for it, and Douglas County, 2:30 into the game. Anthony Codwell runs it in for a touchdown, makes it a 7-0 Douglas County lead. Shortly after, though, it's Caldwell again. No big deal, 14-0. He's a man possessed. No one's catching up with this guy. He runs it in for a touchdown. Still in the first quarter, Douglas County, they haven't broken a sweater. It doesn't appear that way. Cedric Austin pops one to the corner, makes it a 21-0 Douglas County win. And Douglas County, they win this game in convincing fashion. Central Carroll at Lafayette was the next game, and the Ramblers lost. Their last postseason was in 1993, and they were just one win away from doing what they haven't done in 15 years. Now, the same holds true for Central Carroll as both teams meet for the first time since 1999. So, how will they do 9 years later in the making? Well, let's head out to Lafayette right now and see for ourselves. That's a nice looking car right there. First quarter, it's Lafayette's Joel Cross. This pass to Justin Gilbert, and that is a first down and more. He tiptoes his way. Look out, camera guy. Oh, boy, right out of bounds. Cross back again, and this time he's going to be intercepted by Sheldon Smelling. He picks it up, and it's a first down and 10 for Central Carroll as he takes it out of bounds and puts his team in pretty good field position. Lafayette punting now, but whoops! You don't want to do that. That's a bad snap. Goes into the end zone for a safety. That's a 2-0 game. Ramblers back on offense, but Brandon Nichols, he's going to be eaten up for a big loss. Big loss for Lafayette. Central Carroll wins 37-6. Well, for the final game, it was Haralson County at Southeast. Now, both of these teams have just one win on the season. In fact, the one win for Haralson County was who other than Southeast. That was back in Week 5, 49-25 game in Week 5 as Southeast lost that game. Although Coach Crane said earlier this week that what's interesting about Haralson County is their size, and he even said that they would tilt the field when they walked out there tonight. Did they tilt the field? Well, let's head out to Southeast and see if for ourselves it was tilted. And it looks pretty tilted to me. A little bit from the Southeast senior night, and it was Cody Birch in the first quarter, makes it a 7-0 Southeast game. And more highlights to come later in this game. Haralson County, they win 44-38. And with that, we're all out of time. That'll be it for your Football Friday and Alliance National Bank Highlight Show. But stay with us because there's plenty more on the other side of the break. So keep it right here.